Like I mentioned in my earlier video, the more mankind turns their face toward God, the more evil will resist. Charlie Kirk did not deserve to die. His death did ignite what is in people's hearts. Eyes have been opened. There is an ever increasing movement toward the light of God. Others, unfortunately, have chosen darkness. For them, we must pray. Before I get too far, two things. First, please be sure to subscribe and help me build my channel. Second, please note that my normal saying does not apply to Charlie Kirk, Erica Kirk, or Turning Point USA. Please understand that. It does apply to hardened hearts. Now, there are some who will misinterpret what I am about to say. I cannot stop their hardened hearts. Should they reveal themselves in comments, just laugh and move on. Avoid getting into the gutter and the sewer with evil. Be better than that. I do ask that you pray for their evil hearts. They are God's children, just like you and I are. Sometimes the light of truth can break into the darkness. So keep praying and keep shining the light of God. Now that enough time has passed, I can get back to my voice. As I have always said, choices have consequences. You get what you got coming. If hate is what drives someone's heart, they're responsible for their destiny, not you and not I. Choices have consequences. We live in a world where freedom of speech has been abused to the point of losing the intended meaning of our nation's forefathers. The ship of reality has sailed. The lights are flashing, the arm is down, but there ain't no train, if you get my drift. When our forefathers included freedom of speech in our Constitution, I highly doubt they anticipated the abuse of today. Today, irrational, antagonistic, disrespectful, provoking, intimidating, and threatening is loosely interpreted as freedom of speech. Seriously? More like malicious, disruptive intent and behavior. The left openly and adamantly either promote it, ignore it, avoid condemning it, or gaslight it. They know what they are doing. Then they play dumb. Seriously? Do the left really think Americans are that stupid to accept it? Unfortunately, there are a few who do. Many people are waking up to the hoax of extreme liberalism. How can hysterical taunting be rational? Then look at Portland, Oregon, protesting in the nude, putting on weird costumes at other protests, going from loud, obnoxious, sometimes violent to insane and bizarre. It reminds me of an old song.
And they're coming to take me away, ha ha. They're coming to take me away, ho ho, hee hee, ha ha. To the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time. And I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats. And they're coming to take me away, ha ha.
If that is the best the left has to offer, they're in bigger trouble than we imagine. How can anyone expect anything reasonable to come from such bizarre behavior? That's not voicing an opinion. That's Tim Walt's weirdness spreading like a plague. What is the end game of such erratic behavior? Not too many years ago, they would have found themselves in an insane asylum. You can only laugh at the absurdity.
Look, the pause.
This is why we can't.
Then there is the pushing of law enforcement officers, the physical blocking of vehicles with their bodies, the slicing of tires, the throwing of objects, the breaking of windows, and the vandalism. How is that freedom of speech? What happened to laws against disorderly conduct and vandalism? Do they apply to conservatives and not liberals? Think about it. Under Biden, praying at an abortion clinic got an elderly woman jail time.
We have a set of pardons for peaceful pro-life protesters who were prosecuted by the Biden administration for exercising their First Amendment rights.
Do you know how many?
I believe it's 23, sir.
23 people were prosecuted. They should not have been prosecuted. Many of them are elderly people. They should not have been prosecuted.
Yet nightly disrupting neighborhoods is tolerated by a liberal city. Don't those citizens pay taxes for police protection? Selective and discriminatory application of law or lack thereof. Freedom of speech is just that, verbal and written communication. It does not involve intimidation, antagonism, and violence. When that happens, freedom of speech loses its meaning. Physical resistance is not speech. Yet, our federal law enforcement are expected to tolerate such abuse, while local law enforcement permits the chaos. What part of that's wrong does the radical left not understand? The longer it goes on, the worse it will get. You get what you got coming. Ask yourself, how would the left react with like treatment? Being pushed around, taunted, harassed, and provoked. Choices have consequences. Evil is at play. Good people do have their limits. God has his limit. But they keep taunting. You get what you got coming, and you ain't gonna like it. There's an increasing suspicion about intentionally organized acts of disorder. There has been increasing reports of paid antagonists at these public outbursts. Those inciting, antagonizing, and intimidating who are not protesting, they are anarchists collectively creating chaos. They are not there for a cause. They are there to disrupt, taking advantage of easily influenced minds to do their work for them. They just get the ball rolling, sit back, and laugh at the stupidity and extreme abuse of our country's constitutional rights. For what? How is that helping to make a peaceful America? How is that helping to bring unity? Follow the money and find the source of evil.
I think that, what's that? You gonna stop him from interviewing me? What do you want to prevent him to say? We're getting ready to march.
David Chung is the general manager of a protest group called the People's Forum, and if you dig through their tax documents, you'll find that David Chung gets paid $75,000 a year to protest. Now, you're funding this behavior because this is David getting arrested at these protests. Now, the police do their job, but very quickly he's let out and back on the street to protest. Now, I'm sure the police are no fans of David, and David is no fan of the police. Here you can see David Chung modeling a shirt idolizing Assata Shakur, who is an activist who murdered a police officer before seeking exile in Cuba. The People's Forum, the company that he works for, is the main organizer for anti-Israel and anti-America protests here in New York. They send announcements for protests consistently throughout the week and even delete comments that don't fit their narrative. Here you can see someone write "bring them home," and within minutes that comment is deleted. David Chung also has a leadership role at Rise and Resist, another company we've exposed for funding protests. The Karen Kazoo lady that I exposed was representing Rise and Resist, and they use Act Blue to raise money for their protests.
I'm representing the folks at Rise and Resist who have been trained
so Rise
to
and
be
Resist.
You can see that they team up with the People's Forum often, and you can ask David any questions about protesting. Now, the People's Forum is funded by Roy Neville Singham, a billionaire Marxist living in China.
Cause and effect. The Democratic Party, with Biden and Harris at the helm, allowed us to get where we are today with the millions of unvetted immigrants crossing the border. While in charge, Democrats did nothing to prevent it. In fact, they encouraged violating immigration laws. Bureaucratic administrators manipulated their position to condone it, like James Comey, Alejandro Mayorkas, and Kristen Clark. All failed we the people. Politicians have known for decades that immigration needed reform, yet they have refused to do the right thing. Why? We are a country of immigrants. That is a fact. Nobody is against sensible immigration. The immigration of 2025 is different than that of 1925, as 1925 was different from 1825. That's fact. As a population increases, as more resources are needed for a growing population, so goes the need for more reasonable controls of immigration. Open borders was an abuse of power under Biden and Harris, leading to deeper division, more rhetoric, more chaos, more hate, and increasing violence. Now look at the chaos. Are they accepting responsibility or are they gaslighting America? When will voters hold them accountable? Let's make it personal. Let's say politicians say you can't build a wall around your house if you live in a high crime area. Imagine hundreds of strangers coming into your home, eating your food, sitting on your furniture, sleeping in your bed, taking what they want from your home, raiding your refrigerator, blocking your relatives and friends from coming to visit you. Then imagine these same politicians who allowed them into your home say, oh, you cannot evict these vagrants. All while these politicians live comfortably in their homes behind locked doors with secure walls surrounding them. They won't allow these strangers into their neighborhoods, let alone their homes. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Think about it. If politicians, and I'm speaking primarily to the left, were to take their job seriously to help we the people, we wouldn't be in such a big mess as we are today. Instead of supporting their party, how about supporting the people? Instead of creating fictitious problems, how about solving the real problems that arise from a growing population? Instead of satisfying lobbyists who just happen to have large campaign contributions for them, how about taking care of the American people? Instead of shutting down the government while politicians are collecting their paychecks, how about doing their jobs? They will be remembered at the polling places. Maybe they should be reminded that it's taxpayers, we the people dollars that they are spending for all these programs. It's taxpayer dollars they are throwing around as if there is no limit, as if there is no tomorrow. We were at a surplus in 2000. Now we are in a deep deficit from overspending. Think about that. Arizona had a surplus before the current Democratic governor took office. Now there's a deficit, and she's announced she's going to be running again for a second term. To do what? To bankrupt the state? How many cities, counties, and states have similar stories? Think about that. You get what you got coming. No handouts. Hand-ups, yes. If you worked for it, you earned it. If you didn't work for it, you ain't got nothing coming. I, for one, am tired of the left bombing us daily with their hateful agenda. You might say I suffer leftist fatigue, and that fatigue is growing greater day by day. I, for one, am tired of the excuses, tired of the refusal to accept responsibility, tired of the lies to Americans, tired of promoting division, and most of all, tired of promoting hate. Look at who is leading the chaos in our Congress and Senate and on our streets. Look at who has hate derangement. Look at who keeps gaslighting Americans with deceit. If anyone believes their lies, I pray for you. Some people are beginning to see the lies and open their eyes to the truth. Choices have consequences. Time is growing shorter day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. You get what you got coming. You heard me say it, and you will keep hearing me say it. There's a supernatural war going on. The battles will increase. There will be political, social, and moral battles. The battles will get intense. There is but one way and only one way to get through it. For non-believers, there is eternal hell. For believers, there is the prospect of mercy and grace. Humbleness, faith, and belief are a good beginning. Find the strength within your church. Find strength in Jesus Christ. Pray daily, read the Bible, immerse yourself in faith. As the battles intensify, so will the persecution, intimidation, and violence. Like fine gold, we will be tested by fire. Be prepared, be strong, put on the armor of God. The choices you make, the actions you take, the strength you seek will guide you. You will surprise yourself on how peaceful surrendering to God is. I encourage everybody to turn to God. If you like what you've heard and seen, please be sure to like and share and subscribe. I will continue to put out more eye-opening content. God bless you, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.